Sure, Morgan guys, Elia Ubot, so we are back. It's a new week. We're still in the same month. The month is almost over, so second half of the year in full swing. So welcome to the digital library. So without wasting time, let's get into today's topic. So today's topic is one of those topics that really hit home. I think I get triggers actually when I'm talking about this topic. And I think in today's video, I'm just gonna do sort of like a surface introduction. Maybe sometime in the future, I'll build on this topic because I think it's one of those relevant topics that needs to be spoken over and over and over and over again. So yes, we're gonna speak about money today. Um, Everything. I'll just try to explain the psychology of money, the ethics of money, and yeah, all those important things around money. So yes, without wasting no time, let's get into it. So maybe just introduction on like how money was introduced as a tool of exchange for goods and services. So history. I recently just finished reading a history book, which I actually documented on this channel as well. So they spoke in that book. The author speaks about how money was introduced in the Kavango regions, the two Kavango regions, like back in the early 19th. So, so back in the time, I think most of us know that people were bartering. There wasn't like money. If you needed to get something from someone, you had to give them something. It wasn't money. They didn't use money as a tool to buy services or to buy goods. So the way money was introduced, a very dark way, by the way. So it was that um, they came up with a rule or a law that every 18-year-old man, after 12 months, so let's say from December to January, from January to December, which is December was the time when the native commissioners then used to go and collect taxes in like the tax that we pay now, like your income tax. So back in the time, it was you had to pay tax if you were 18 and above, especially and mom it was mandatory for the males. So come December of every year, every male in a household who's 18 years old needed to have some sort of money, not sort of money, but I think it was like about 50 cent pounds or two cent pounds or something that you needed to have and pay to the commissioner as what? As tax, right? So if you didn't have that 2 cent or 5 or 50 cent, you're brutally beaten up, and sometimes they can beat you to death. So this actually now forced people to go and look for contract work. So then come month end, come year end, you at least have that 2 cent or 5 cent for you, or 50 cent for you to pay the tax. All right. So already in history, money wasn't really like part of our community. So we really do not understand how money works. So it was introduced to us in a very forceful way. And we, like I said, we don't understand how it works. Okay. And the purpose of this video is really just to try to get people in the habit of understanding how money works. Do I don't know, do like research, watch videos of financial people. So you just bring yourself to speed with the psychology of money. And then just to drill a bit deeper on the ethics of money. So like I said, money was introduced as a tool for merely exchange of goods or services, nothing else, right? And the ethics of money is that once you have me, or once you have the money, you have to spend it. You know, I like looking at money like this tank, a tank full of water, and then once you have that tank, you have to drink the water. There's no way you can just keep the water there. Like you have to like use it up. And once you start using the water, like it just keeps going down unless you you get an alternative tank for you to keep to get extra water. You are going to run out of the water out of water. So that's how we find ourselves like running out of money. So it's not rocket science. If you make $1,000 a month, you can only spend $1,000. So if you spend more than $1,000, it means you are spending more than you earn. You are living beyond your means. So if you want to spend more than $1,000, simple, make more money, find a way to make more money. You know. So most of us now, we find ourselves in like heavy debt, because now again we don't understand the ethics of money. I make this $1,000 a month, but my lifestyle is 1,600. So now I need to borrow the 600 to sort of fill in that deficit. But what's happening now when you borrow that extra 600 is that you are tapping into money that you have not received. By the way, even if when you borrow that 600, there's interest on that. So it's actually going to probably be like 650 or 750 that you need to pay back. So you earn $1,000 um, a month. Now you are in debt of let's say 750 extra from your $1,000. It's not easy to recover from that. That's why I think this now brings me in the topic of like what actually has been happening in the country. Um, News going all over in the newspaper articles. People, mostly male people, taking their lives because of financial situations. Right. This is due to lack of financial literacy, which is like most of us don't have. I personally studied accounting, and I had to burn. When I started working, I had to burn first myself. Like I didn't know how to manage money. I had to burn, learn the hard way, and I took it upon myself to like learn, like and try to understand how money works. And that, most of us, we shy away from those conversations. People don't like talking about money. Money is like a taboo in our family discussions. We don't show each other's pay slips. The best way to actually like move around us. Let's say in a household, you both your parents work, you and your siblings work. You put your pay slips together, and then you guys pull the funds and try to sort of like equally or distribute it to everyone in a way that makes sense in terms of like, okay, we handle this one's accommodation, we handle the cars, and then whatever is remaining, then we can maybe build the family or whatever. That is just for conversation's sake, but let's try to have open conversations with our relatives about money. I think that's one of the things that can really save us, because again, going back to what has been making rounds in the news, our Prime Minister, Honorable Elia Mburare, also came out with his personal story of like money problems, and he just described how that situation was horrible for him. He wanted also to take his life at the time. So it's that financial literacy that we lack in the country. So I personally think there should be a financial literacy course introduced in university. So before you graduate, we need to have like what is this? We need to have a course for merely financial literacy, and you need to pass for you to graduate. If you don't pass that course, then you do not qualify to go and work and earn an income. Right? I think that will be one of the things that will really help us to stay financially literate. Okay, and then the other thing why we always find ourselves in like in debt and all those things is we like giving money too much power. So when you give money power, you are setting yourself up for you are sort of like setting a price up on yourself. And when you set a price up on yourself, it means you can be bought. That's why also you find that um people uh people get bribed, people in higher positions get bribes and start doing unethical things because of money. This is because they give money too much power. When you don't give money power, even if somebody bribes you there with millions and millions, you're not gonna take it because you don't worship money. So, but the moment you start worshiping money, you are setting yourself up to be bought. And like I said, if you can be bought, then there are people with money, and trust me, they're gonna make you do unethical things for money. And we see all these corruption scandals coming through and all that. So the reason we actually, like, I think one of the reasons that why we struggle with money is that, so most of the people who earn an income are not struggling because they don't have an income, but they're struggling because of their spending habits. So again, it goes back to the ethics of money. Once you have me, you spend me. So you need to realize when you are in that spending habit, that realize what's happening to you at that point. Okay. And then um, I think the other thing is also, like, maybe I just want to touch on financial institutions. Financial institutions also really, I know there's some that try to give financial literacy here and there, but I'm against the way they assess people's ability to afford debt, right? So you find, I think I saw somebody posted that a person is like in three different loans with a certain bank, and this person, they don't even know how to pay back this loans because they're financially squeezed, right? So I think we need also to take up that responsibility as the citizens, that assess your affordability yourself first. Because if you look at the bank, a bank is like, it's it's a business, and a business needs to have customers. So in most cases, they're not gonna turn you back, you know, regardless of how many loans you have with them or whatever. They will give you the money, but from your end, are you able to afford that, or you're just doing it because you sort of have this access to attaining this credit? So let's try to do our own credit credit sort of like affordability assessment before we apply for loans. Because like I said, the banks they will do their assessment, but their metrics that they use to do their accessibility is different. It's different. It's different. You are the one that knows what your financial situations are. So please assess your affordability before you get into a loan. Yeah, I think this video is going on for too long now, but I would like just to close it off with just a saying that makes, or that keeps us to remain average, especially the men. We like these things of where you go and spend like half of your salary on like a bad girl, and then you wake up in the morning, she can't even make you a sandwich, and that's the price you pay for living lavish. It's outlandish how we make this money vanish. No wonder we always broke, you know. So please try to always be aware of your spending habits. So I'm going to close this video here. I hope you found it informative. And if you came until this far, please give it a thumbs up and share it with somebody who you think might want to hear this information. I'll be continuing with this series of trying to tackle issues around money and just give financial literacy where I can. I hope you found it informative. Elia Ubozo. You guys should have a good week ahead. Cheers.